Okay. Yeah, so last week we stopped at the download your shows offline. So we're just going to continue from there today. Okay. So now let's see this section. Let me see. So this is for frequently asked questions. So you're just going to name it frequently asked questions. So let me create a new section for it. Then I'm going to give it a class of um frequently asked question, which is FAQ. So here we have like a bold big text. So I'm just going to use H1 for it. H1 of so yeah, after this, then we have these items over here. So what we can do, we can create a div for it. Then inside this div, if we click on it, then this is like the title and this is like the content for the div. So we can also have like the title and we can have the content. So I'm just going to give this like the container for all the items, which is the title and the content. So I'm going to give it a class of FAQ item. Then inside of it, we can have the FAQ title. So here we are going to have our title, and we can also have the FAQ after the title. We can have the FAQ. This is like the content box. So, but it's hidden. So, can give it FAQ box, or we can say FAQ hidden box. So let's see the way what we have. Okay, so this is our frequently asked questions. Okay, so inside this FAQ title, we have just this like an H1, and then we have this icon over here. So we can inside this we can have, you can give it an H2 of the title. So here we have what is Netflix. So after it, then we have the this guy, right? So we can go into our UI icon. Let's look at a plus icon. So let's copy the SVG and then let's go back here and have this. So if we save it and go back to our page, reload it, then yep, we have, this is what is Netflix, and we have this big icon over here. So one of the changes we could make to this div is the color of the icon. But before that, let's see what else we can do. we have this is the okay, so the icon is white. If we need to change the color, we can change it, but for now, let me leave it. But let's change the width and the height. Okay. So let's leave that for now. Then let's go to the content of the box itself. So here we can have a paragraph, and inside the paragraph, we're going to have all the items. For example, this one says Netflix is a streaming, blah, blah, blah. So we can copy it and paste it here. Then also we have another text after that. Also do something similar, just copy and paste it. Okay, now so we can now look at the class, which is FAQ. We have FAQ, we have the FAQ item. We also have the FAQ title. Yes. So this is the text. Okay. So we also have FAQ title, and then we also have FAQ hidden box. Copy this. So in the FAQ title, this is our H1. So for the FAQ title, we can give it like the general value we normally give to separate those boxes. So let's give it a 5 rem, and let's give it a font size of maybe 2 rem. So here we know that, yeah, so we're giving it some padding from this top to this, and the font size is taking over all the text under it. So you're still going to adjust all these font size also. So now let's start from the first element inside the FAQ section, which is the H1 tag. So we can say the FAQ H1, and we can give it, let's give it some margin button, so that we are able to separate this and this. So some margin button, we can give it maybe 3 or 4 line. Yeah. So the other one we have is the FAQ item. This FAQ item. So this FAQ item, so this is like the FAQ item. So what we want to do for this FAQ item is to, let's start from, so like this whole box is FAQ item. So we want this to be at the center, kind of, yeah, like at the center, and then we also want the item inside it to be on a straight line, so on the same line. So we also have the FAQ title, so we can do the row horizontal line in the FAQ title. While for the FAQ item, we can specify the to make it appear at the center. So let's give it like a width of 80%, and then I'll give it imagine left of auto, and imagine right of auto. So for this one, so yeah, you can see now that we have this beside this, because this is the width is 80%, so it's going to take like 80% of those spaces that is available to it. So this is it. Yeah, so this is it. So it's just going to appear at the center of it. So the more we add items to it, the more visible it's going to become. So that is for this one. Then for the FAQ title, the FAQ title consists of this H2 element and the SVG. So what we can do is the FAQ title, we can display it as flex, just so that we can make it appear horizontally, and we can give it like, let's see the way it looks now. Yeah, so this one is on the same line, but this is very big. We're going to deal with that later. We can give it justify content to space, and we can reduce its font size also. Okay, so we can give it they give the background color of like something like blue, but previously all what we've been using is black and white. So I'm just going to be a dark, like a gray background color, so that we don't deviate too much from what we were using previously. We can actually give it that same color, but let's just give it something background color. So I'm just gonna give it, and then I'm going to give it some padding also. Okay, so now this is the background color that is going to appear on it. So for this logo, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give it another class, so that way we can style it. So I'm going to give it a class of icon. Then I'm going to give this class an item width.
I'm not sure. It seems as if we had maybe a class icon before, or maybe not. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I think you might be right. Is it logo? I think that was logo. Is it logo?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so we can give this one the icon class, and this icon class we can specify the value to be for the height and the width. and give it the same value. So let's see the way it looks. Okay, yeah, yeah. So now it looks better. Yep. The stroke color is also, I think it's already white, but let's see if can can change the way it looks. Yeah. So now, one thing again is that when using,
What is the function of that stroke?
yeah, the stroke just like the color of the SVG,
Okay, okay.
so of the SVG icon, so just the color of it, just to check. But since it's already white, so that's why I deleted it. Um, so okay, well, I was saying like if you hand over this thing, you realize that it changes to the and pointer, right? So we can do something similar. It doesn't have to be like a and like a link or something. You can actually do it for other type of value. So what we can do is that we can use this point, the cursor property. I think I mentioned it sometimes also that you can do something similar in past lecture. So if we refresh this, and then you can see now it has this and pointer when you over onto it, even though it's not a link. So it doesn't have to be a link to for you to be able to have that effect. So that is for that. Also, one thing you notice is that when you over onto it, the color like changes a little bit, right? Like a lighter value. Also, we've already talked about this property. Also, we can use the over property. So I can just give it and just okay. So when you have the over property, you can then say the background color. Let me use the GPA. So I'm just going to have it 0, 0, but let me make it like 0. Let's see 0.5. Let's try it and see. So when we hand over onto it, oh, it's more darker. Okay, okay. Let's see 0.1. Let's refresh this. Okay, it's still more. Okay, this is more dark. Think. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's try this color. Yeah, you can see the effect, although this is kind of more lighter, but yeah, it's still going to, yeah, you can see, but I don't want to keep manipulating and so that we don't waste too much time on this. Yeah, so let's just leave it like this. I think we're good. Yeah, so that one is for the icon. One thing we can also notice is that when they click on this, we have this icon change to a close icon. We can also have a close icon inside out. So let me find the close icon. Yeah, so we can copy the SVG and then we can have it here also. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give it the same class icon. So that way we have the same property affecting them. So if I refresh this now, you see that now we have this plus and we have the close. So one thing we can do is now that we can give it like an ID, and then we can call that ID to either close, like to display none, so that it's not going to show until when the click button has been hit. So we can do that. I'm just going to give it an ID of, so I'm going to give it an ID of icon close, and then after this icon, I'm going to just give it just icon close, display none. So that way, once this is like this, then it's not going to show. So what we actually want to do is when they click on it, that is when we want the icon to show. And then we want this one to like disappear, stuff like that. So I can also give this one icon of open, so that way I know that. So this one is icon open and icon close. So now that is for the those boxes. Once we are working on the click stuff, um we're going to make use of those IDs. But for now, let's focus on the box. So for the box, we already say the box also should have a background color, right? Because we can't have we have it on the same background, which is like this. Yeah. So this one is still black, and then if we refresh it, now we have it on the same background color. But one thing also is that the Netflix, the text inside of it is kind of touching the edge. So we can format all these things and using the property we've already talked about, which is like the padding and stuff like that. So the first one I'm going to give it some margin at the top, so that way it's not touching the top. Let me give it a little bit of margin. And the I'm going to also give it like a padding, 2.51. And um the font size, I think we use it like it two one. So let me specify font size for this. Also, let me refresh this. Okay, I think that's not bad. Okay, yeah. So this one, the text also, and have this and then this, which is like two bars. Let me increase this one a little bit. The font size. Okay. Let me get a little bit of line height. 1.5. Let's see. Okay.
So that line height, like it control the spacing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If I give it 0, you can see now there's no space between them. So if I give it 1.5, 5, there's more space. If I give it 1.9, you can see there's more space. So 1.3, 0.4, 0.5. So I'm just gonna leave it. Also, I'm going to just make it just to use a flex. You can, although it's not compulsory, it's not necessary for this one, but I'm going to give it a flex, and then the flex direction, I'm just going to use column. Then I'm going to use gap to separate them. So the flex direction should be column, and then I'm just going to use gap to yeah. So like I say, in this case, what we can also do is we can just maybe give one of them like a padding top or some or padding bottom just to create that little space. But in this case, I'm just going to go with the gap property. So now, but one thing we don't want is that we don't want this to actually be showing. I think that's the only thing we have left apart from the click. So what we can do is that we can also hide this. So we can just say display none. So if we display none of it, then we have just only what is Netflix, which is what we have here. So now we also have this all this here, but what we can do is we can just copy it and replace those values. Although we're not going to like style individual, it's not necessary. So let me just copy this. This is the fuck item. I'm just gonna copy it. Then I'm going to paste it here. But one thing I'm going to remove is this. I don't want the, we can actually leave it, doesn't matter, but let me remove it. So now let me see X. This is how much does Netflix cost. So I can change it. So if we refresh this, yeah, so that means we have a new property here. But there is we need some spacing between them. So okay. So you can give it some margin. So let me, this is the fork item. So let's go to the fork item. So we can give it some, let's try one line. Okay. Or maybe 0.9. So also, okay. Yeah, so we can do the same thing for this one. And just copy and paste it. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 more. Okay. I think yeah. Okay, so from here we can change this to what's different so uh, Okay, then this is where can I watch? And then how do I cancel? And then what can I watch next? And then it's Netflix case. Okay, I think that should be all. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing we can do is that we can now like work on this click functionality. So for this click functionality, you mostly use JavaScript to do stuff like this. But just for the sake of this one, we can actually just write a simple JavaScript function just to see the way it's going to look. So let's just give it over here. For give it script. So on JavaScript for us to we can let's see. So okay, now in JavaScript, for us to get the click functionality, so what we're going to do is that we're going to get this give it an ID and say that whenever this is click, because we're only dealing with just the first one, the idea is the same for the other ones. So we're going to give it an ID and then we say that when this is click, then change the style. Remember that we added style display, I mean display to none for this one,
Yes.
for this content. So we're now going to say once it is click, we want you to um change the style display to either maybe block or whatever we want. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go back to, let me see if I can collapse all these ones that we're now using. Okay, now let's go to this is the fact item. This is the fact title. So I'm just going to give it an ID just because I want this to just before the first one even. Or let me just say first FAQ of click. So I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to get those value and say that if the document dot get element by ID, the ID is going to be the FAQ click. So I'm going to give you this get the style display property. If it equals to block, So what we want is that if this is equals to block, we want the when it's equals to block, we want the display, the icon close, we want it to display none, and we want the icon open to be in display block. But when it is not, when the display, the q display is none, then we want the icon close, icon close to be blocked, and then we want the icon open to be none, so that way we're not going to be able to see it. So we can then say document dot get elements by ID. We can then give it the style, the display to be equals to none. This is JavaScript, so you don't like need to pay too much attention to it now.
Yeah, since we have not
Yeah, we've not
done it
really
yet.
done it.
Mm.
Yeah, I can close. Then I want the style of this one to be none, and then for icon open, I want the style to be block. But if this is not the case, then I can use the else property. I can copy all this one over here. So I can say the FAQ click, the style of display should be block. And the icon close should be block. And icon open should be none. So this one, we now have to copy this guy and give it the on-click property. So I'm going to put it on this on-click. This guy should be here because this is what we are hiding. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Let me see. This style is block. Okay, let's see this again. Effective dots style. Let me even check if we are getting into this function at all. Console.y. Let's log. What? So let's see. Okay, we are here. Okay, see. Item component use. Okay, let's do something. I'm on click, then I'm going to change this icon display block. Right, let's see. The FAQ reading box is not okay. Let's say if we give this an ID, let's say it's based on. Review display of none. Okay. Okay, I see. Oh, no, 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 no. That shouldn't be it. Oh, my bad. Yeah, yes, yeah, I see. Okay, so let's delete this. I was using a double equals to yes, so just a single thing. Yeah, made it even honest. Yeah, so this is an assignment, not like we are comparing them. Yeah, so now you can see now that here we have this when it's open and then this one when it's closed. So what we're basically just doing is that we're saying that show this icon. That's why I'm changing it to that this icon display dot none. So close it. That means display is equals to none. And then the display for icon open is block, which means show it. But for this one, I'm saying that the icon open should be none, and then the icon close should be block, which means the icon close should show when this is opened, when the FAQ item, the content, once it is like showing, then we change the display icon. So basically you can use JavaScript to do it, but mostly people also use, some people use other scripting languages too, that we have like jQuery and stuff. So but this one we're not going to like do much into it since it's really not CSS. So we can say this is for this part. Then for this one, after this, we have this, which is also, oh, for this FAQ, we've not even aligned this one properly. So let's do it. Let's align this properly. Let me see. FAQ, we can give it some margin left, and give it maybe 3 rem. Okay, no, really, 10 rem, 20 rem. Okay, this one is too much. 19 rem. Okay, yeah, so let's give this FAQ some values. The H1, so you can just give it margin left of 19 rem. So now if I refresh it now, we have the same thing. Also, okay, I say after this one, then we have this. So if you look at this, it's similar to this one that we did over here also. Yeah, so they are both similar. So we can do the same thing to the at the bottom of this. So let's give it another div. So I'm gonna give it another div. Let's give it some spaces. So for this one, we're gonna give it a, let's see what they have. All right, so they have this text saying ready to watch. So we're just gonna give it like an H, maybe H2 or H3 tag. I'm gonna paste it inside of it. Then we have this email address, which we can just copy the HTML on the top over there. So yeah, this is it over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna paste this, then let's see the way it looks, and then if we need to adjust some stuff. Okay. Yeah, this is not too bad. So we just need to adjust this text, and then we also need to align the we need to align the text box to be within the same. Okay, so let's first of all look at the text. So we have this H3. So we can also I think inside this we have this header something over here that already has so much of the class we're trying to call. So let's just copy it. So that way we know that we have the same thing. Too much padding. Yeah, so let me imagine, let me give it another class. And let me see. Yeah, we can give it, let's just give it a call to action class. So I'm just going to give it a new property to override the one in it previously. So I'm going to use the margin top. Let's give it let's give it right. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So now we have it at the middle, but then we can push it to the left. So let me give it a text line to the left. So that way we can have the text on the left. So also we can give it the we think we had for this one, the H1, we have this 19, right? Margin left. So you can copy the same thing here. So you can give it some. So let's refresh. See, okay, so now we have this over here, but we still have this here. So why, if we look at this, we have the form placeholder. I believe, okay, I think it's the header form. So the header form, let's see what we have here. Header form, is it header form? Yes. Yep. Okay, yeah. So this header form, we already have it as a flex properties, and then we say the content should be justified to the center. So we can just override um that property. And so instead of having that, what we can do is that we can just give it another form and then just call it the form at the bottom. Whatever. So I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to, so we can just override that, alignment. That's just what we need to align. So we can give it a justify content to, instead of the center, we can just give the start. So it's like this. Yeah, so now we have it at the start of this. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we've completed the section. So the only section that is left is the FAQ section. So let's continue with this FAQ in the next class. So that way we know that we're just going to finish the FAQ, and then we talked about other stuff too that I want to mention. But we're not able to use it yet. So do you have any question so far?
For now, I think I don't have any question on
Okay.
HTML and CSS. So
Okay.
my only question is on JavaScript. But now that uh, we have not talked about Java, so let us just rest until then.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. For
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, no problem. So for this one, I use the gray color because that is like what they've been using
Yes.
before they make
Mm,
it.
yes.
We can also like use the same color, but I just feel like it's not going to look good anymore if we,
Yes. Because
use the
because we
yeah,
have to change almost everything.
exactly. So that is the challenge. So that's why we're just going to stick with this color and continue using it.
Mm, yes.
No problem.
Thank you.
So that means we can